Sophie, thank you. Hello and welcome to Look North. Our top story tonight. As COVID rates in our region continue to rise, we hear from a pharmacy in Sheffield.
We've got more than 10% of our staff off with COVID at the moment, and none of them actually caught it here at work. They've caught it at home and what they're doing in the community. And I do know that there's been a GP surgery in Sheffield this week that's been shut because of their staff having COVID.
A leading virologist will share his views on the latest figures, also tonight. Good news for the property owners, but tough on tenants. How the boom in holiday lets is affecting locals in our tourist hotspots. With the Commonwealth Games just a few weeks away, squash champion James Willstrop met up with children for a legacy event in Wakefield. And the Railway Children return. We meet the young actor from Leeds with a starring role in what promises to be a Hollywood hit.
And after a very lively end to the week with some pretty heavy showers through this afternoon, I'll bring you all the details with regards to the weekend's forecast and whether we can expect to see more of the same.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The latest COVID figures show another rise in the number of COVID cases in our region. It's estimated that 171,000 people in Yorkshire and the Humber are infected. That's the highest figure in months, and it means around 1 in every 30 people in the region have the virus. In some areas, it's as high as 1 in 25 in Leeds, York and Calderdale. And with those figures in mind, let's have a look at the current guidance. Well, the government suggests wearing a mask in crowded and enclosed spaces where you may come into contact with other people you don't normally meet. Face coverings are still required in healthcare settings, although patients no longer need to socially distance from each other. If you test positive for COVID, you're no longer legally required to self-isolate, but you are advised to stay at home and avoid contact with others for at least 5 full days. Lakshmi Gopal has our main report.
If anecdotally you've noticed more people getting COVID recently, well, it's being borne out by the data, which shows another rise in cases in our region and the country as a whole. Many workplaces are feeling the effects, including this Sheffield pharmacy.
We've got more than 10% of our staff off with COVID at the moment, and none of them actually caught it here at work. They've caught it at home and what they're doing in the community. And I do know that there's been a GP surgery in Sheffield this week that's been shut because of their staff having COVID.
Some customers have been bringing in the virus without thinking about it.
We have seen a lot of people come in with COVID symptoms, and a lot of them are not really considered that they might have COVID. So they're coming in kind of with coughs or with sore throats or with fevers, and not thinking, oh, maybe I've got COVID, perhaps I should test or anything like that.
Latest ONS figures for Yorkshire and the Humber show 171,000 cases, up from 143,400 the previous week. Their data is based on extrapolation rather than relying on widespread testing. New infections are being driven by 2 fast-spreading Omicron subvariants. So how much further could cases rise?
That's the million-dollar question, really. Just how severe is it going to be? So far, it's just been a small effect in terms of disease severity, hospitalizations and deaths. But we don't know just how big this wave is going to be. When we get the summer holidays, that will have an effect of hopefully blunting the wave a little bit. And then when schools reopen in the autumn, that's another point where we just have to be really, really careful and monitor the situation.
Do you think more COVID measures should be brought in?
At this point in time, I don't think more measures are needed, but I do think there's a lot that we can do locally as individuals, as members of the public. For example, if you're ill, be sensible, don't mix, don't socialise, stay off work while you're ill.
How are we doing today?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
COVID vaccinations continue to provide strong protection against severe illness, with vulnerable people already having been offered further jabs.
So at the moment we're offering a spring booster programme, so that's for patients that are 75 years and over, those that have got a poor immune system. So if you meet that criteria, if you've had a letter inviting you for a spring booster, please do come along. If you've just got a query about it, we're more than happy to meet with you and answer your questions.
The number of COVID patients in hospital has risen, but is far, far below the numbers seen last winter and hasn't yet placed the same level of pressure on services. But in many places, the strain the number of cases has placed on staffing levels has started to show. Laxmi Gopal, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Next tonight, tourism is crucial to North Yorkshire economy. It's worth many millions every year. High demand has led to a big rise in the number of properties being used for holiday lets, many of them short-term on platforms like Airbnb. It's good news for property owners, but tough on tenants. Some of them are being evicted to make way for short-term lets, as Richard Edwards reports.
North Yorkshire's stunning coastal communities, places where, understandably, people are very keen to put down some roots. But the short-term rental and holiday let market is red hot, meaning people who live on the coast are literally being forced out.
We're seeing lots of households now coming into Airbnb. So we think this is a growing problem.
The coast can be a tough place to make a living, lots of seasonal, lower paid work, and a Filey businesswoman's found just how hard it is to find a home she can call her own.
I'm in two minds about it because my business relies on visitors, but then people here need somewhere affordable to live. At the moment in Filey, I don't know if you realise, we've got two £1 million properties on the market, but nobody here is going to be able to buy that.
The evidence is clear. More and more people are turning over their properties for use as a holiday let. Here in the borough of Scarborough, nearly 900 extra properties registered in the 3 years to 2021. That's up 43%. In the city of York, 221 over the same period. That's up 50%. And in the Dales, 179 properties. That's an increase of 40%. Concerns about short-term lets are coming up in York too. The Labour MP for York Central, Rachel Maskell, put a bill before Parliament this week calling for the industry to be regulated. One of her constituents who lives near a short-term let remembers the sleepless nights of being on the receiving end.
During the slight easing of the lockdown, so it'd be about 18 months ago, when we had groups of 6 allowed, a group of 6 young ladies came along who were pretty full volume and enjoying themselves, let's say, and engaging with people along the river and along the road. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, they thought it would be a wonderful idea to start ringing the ship's bell, which was very, very noisy.
Landlords of short-term lets in places like Filey could soon have to register and be ready for spot checks. Both are ideas in a government review that could make waves across the industry. Airbnb says it's an opportunity to secure clear and modern rules. Richard Edwards, BBC Look North.
And you can see more on that story and the other big political stories affecting our region on Politics North here on BBC One this Sunday at 10 o'clock. You're watching Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. What a week to be a cricket fan. We'll be live in Sheffield at a special event aimed at encouraging a new generation of players. A stepfather accused of murdering a 15-year-old boy has denied he was a monster or controlling, a jury has heard. Sebastian Kalinowski, who was 15, died in August at his Huddersfield home from untreated rib fractures. Ollie Constable reports.
Jurors at Leeds Crown Court today heard more from Sebastian's stepfather, Andrei Latashevsky. He said he was never violent towards Sebastian's mother, Agnieszka Kalinowska, who was also accused of murder. Mr. Latashevsky, who cried as he gave some evidence today, said he did not hurt his partner, but admitted he would beat the boy if he misbehaved. One incident saw Sebastian be kept off school because of bruising caused by Mr. Latashevsky. He asked Mrs. Kalinowska's barrister to not portray him as a monster, as they discussed him being violent. Texts were also read out in court, where it was said Mr. Latashevsky wrote, "I will knock your teeth out and it will be my fault." He said the couple had arguments, and he had many incidents where he considered leaving her. The pair both deny murder. Mr. Latashevsky has previously admitted manslaughter. The trial continues.
Searches are continuing for a woman who's gone missing from the Helmsley area. 31-year-old Chelsea Allen hasn't been seen since the early hours of Sunday. Specialist teams have now joined the search, including police drones, a helicopter and a mountain rescue team. Chelsea was last seen wearing a navy blue long-sleeve T-shirt with white pattern sleeves, grey jogging bottoms and trainers. She also has several tattoos.
There's quite a search operation going on as we speak with specialist officers that are conducting these searches. around Helmsley area, particularly the rural areas around Helmsley. But she's potentially also got links to West Yorkshire area. West Yorkshire Police are also supporting inquiries. So we believe she has links to Hemsworth and the Pontefract areas where she has family.
The Home Office says it won't make a final decision on its plans to open an asylum centre near York for at least another 2 weeks. It's proposed moving up to 1,500 male asylum seekers onto the former RAF base at Linton-on-Ouse. Hambleton District Council has said it's considering legal action to stop the plan, and the government has asked for more time to respond. Rail customers face further disruption with a range of journeys cancelled this weekend because of staff sickness. TransPennine Express has asked people to avoid travelling if possible. The company said many staff are off sick with COVID and other illnesses. A spokesperson apologised and acknowledged it was frustrating for passengers. Now on to the sport. He is the football card to have, Tanya, in year 4 of my children's class. The man of the moment, isn't he?
He is. But I think he's crossing the pair nines. Yes, what's likely to be one of the biggest football transfers of this summer is on the brink of going through. Leeds United's Calvin Phillips has been completing the medical formalities of his move to Manchester City today. The price, £42 million to start with, and that's likely to rise nearer to £50 million depending on the number of appearances he makes. Well, there was another thumping win for England's women last night, featuring another significant contribution from our region's players. To complete their preparations for the upcoming Euros, their 4-0 friendly win in Switzerland included a goal from Barnsley's Bethany England. They certainly look ready to kick off in front of the home crowd on Wednesday.
We know what our fans are about, we know what England's about as a nation, and when it comes to football, everyone's in for it. So we can't wait to see the stadiums full, we can't wait to see the hype around the whole tournament for all the nations, and we hope it's, something to remember.
Now, the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham are just a few weeks away, and today there was a legacy event in Wakefield. One of those introducing children to the sport he loves was the reigning singles squash champion, James Wilstropper. Veteran of his sport, I think I can get away with saying that, the 38-year-old from Pontefract is looking forward to his 4th Games.
Squash, what is it? You know, when you love a sport the way we do, and obviously our club at Pontefract, we just love to see it. We love seeing new people playing the game.
So what did you think of squash?
I think it's an amazing game. I want to play it more often. It was really fun.
What did you like most?
Hitting the ball to doing the rally.
Most of them are quite enthused by it, and I think they're like, the ball's going everywhere, and then it'll occasionally hit one of their partners on their head and stuff like that, and it's a soft ball, so it's all fine.
He taught me how to bat the ball properly because I kept dropping it. I think it's kind of tricky, but very fun.
Would you like to play it again?
Yes.
That's just great. It's music to our ears, isn't it, to hear that sort of stuff.
Huge moment for the 34-year-old playing in his last Commonwealth Games.
Gold in the singles at the Gold Coast was meant to be it, apparently, but James is still going strong.
Back then I wouldn't have dreamed it, really. I wouldn't have even thought about it. But things have happened. The COVID stuff gave the older generation a bit of a rest. The ranking, obviously there were no tournaments for a while, so the ranking sort of stayed where it was, so the youngsters couldn't quite knock us off. So it maybe just gave us a bit of breathing space, and then once you've had a bit of a break and let the body regenerate, I think all that was very good for players like me at 38 years old. I've played 4 now, and they were much more intense because you're in a different period of your life and you've got less perspective and you're just trying to be the best you can be. But I think at this position now, at 38, you see how lucky you've been, and you're so fortunate, and so what a great thing to be able to experience.
What did you think of James?
He's amazing.
And will you now be watching the Commonwealth Games and following him?
Every day.
Do you think he can get us a gold?
Yeah.
You're going to have a whole new legion of fans chatting to this lot.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we had a lovely group just then who were saying they're going to watch the Commonwealth Games, and it's all great. It's great to hear that, and hopefully they'll watch a bit of the BBC.
Will you be watching him at the Commonwealth Games?
Yeah.
And can he win us gold?
Yeah.
Will he win gold?
Maybe.
Only a maybe?
Maybe.
Fingers crossed for him. Well, if you're a cricket fan, it's been a great week for you, and England doing so well at Headingley is a great opportunity to try and boost interest in the game. Paul Ogden is live at the Sheffield Caribbean Cricket Club tonight. Oggy, it's over to you.
Yeah, and this, Tanya, is the climax of National Cricket Week, which is a chance maybe for youngsters who've never picked up a cricket bat before to play for the first time even here in the distinctive surroundings of Caribbean Sports Club, home of Caribbean Cricket Club in the Sheffield suburb of Ecclesfield. The real talent is on view over here, actually, where they are practising their bowling and batting skills, thanks to the efforts of Chance to Shine, the charity who puts all this on. Led by, amongst others, Ross Jevons. Good evening. Thanks for your efforts, Ross. Why do this, though? Why does it need to be done from cricket's point of view?
So from Chance to Shine's perspective, we know that cricket is a great sport for helping children to develop. That means their physical well-being, they're getting active, they're out and about, but also their mental health, their personal development, their whole child development. It's making them better young people, getting them active, and cricket is the perfect game to do just that.
For reasons other than just cricket skills, as you say, but the elephant in the room question, of course, Ross, after what Yorkshire and other counties have been through with racism scandals, does cricket need this to happen? Does cricket need to try hard to project itself now after what we've experienced?
Cricket has had its wake-up call, not just in Yorkshire, as you say, but across the UK. And I guess Chance to Shine, we really feel that we can be part of that solution. And that's why we have great partnerships with the likes of Yorkshire Cricket Board, others across England, to give these kids the opportunity. Because if you give any child the opportunity to play the game, doesn't matter what their background is, they can flourish through that. And that's a vital thing, get bats and get balls in hands.
We're certainly seeing a diverse cross-section from the local community here in Sheffield take part perhaps even for the first time tonight. I want to talk to a former England international. Roland, do come and join us. Roland Butcher, who's smashed Yorkshire batsmen all over the place in his career for in the 80s. He's an ambassador for the charity, whose opinion I'm very interested to get hold of here tonight. It might be that so many people want to talk to him besides us that we don't get a word with him. Chance to Shine is the charity that puts all this on. Here's Roland now, and I'm glad we got a chance to speak to you, Roland, because I'm wondering what your heart says when you see all these youngsters playing cricket for the first time.
Yeah, first of all, I mean, it's great to be here, and it's fantastic, I think, what they're doing. I mean, Chance to Shine obviously is helping this thing greatly, but I'm very impressed with what I've seen here, and to see all of these kids, I mean, so passionate. Look at the parents over there, I mean, as well. Very passionate about playing the game of cricket, getting involved as a group, a very diverse group. I think it's fantastic.
And a lot of people want to talk to you, Roland. Thank you for being with us tonight on BBC Look North. We'll talk to you at more length next time the opportunity arises. We forgive you for smashing all those Yorkshire batsmen to the boundary edge back in your career for Middlesex. Have a good night here in Sheffield. Cricket's certainly a game that can bring you all sorts of opportunities with bat and ball and otherwise, as we're experiencing here tonight.
Yeah, what a lovely evening for it. Thank you very much, Paul. Now, from Leeds to Hollywood, it doesn't get much more exciting than that. Our next guest is one of the stars of the new film, The Railway Children Return. Just 13 years old, he's worked with the likes of George Clooney, no less, Jim Broadbent and Christopher Eccleston. But tonight, he's really made it. Austin, welcome to the Look North sofa. Lovely to have you here. One of the leading roles, no less. Just tell me how it all came about.
Well, it all started with me sending a video through of me acting to the casting director, and she really liked me. So she sent the video through to Morgan Matthews, the director. He really liked me, and I went through 4 or 5 Zoom meetings, just meeting more of the cast. And then, yeah, eventually they offered me the role, and I was ecstatic. I was running up and down the house. I was just telling everyone the good news.
It is amazing. I mean, your parents must be so proud of you. The film is beautiful. We've been having a little look at the trailer. Let's take a look now.
We want your help.
It's classified information. It's more than my life's worth.
What are they doing?
Bobby should know. You think Phyllis wasn't forever telling me about your childhood antics?
Not antics. Action.
We need to go. It's now or never.
You've got to be joking.
You want to get on that train, don't you?
Go, go, go! This is as fast as it goes. It's a tractor.
Oh, it's gorgeous seeing Yorkshire like that. And just tell us a little bit about the egg throwing. You got paid to throw eggs there.
Yeah, well, I've got a funny story about that. The AD got me to throw 3 eggs at a fence, and I got them all bang on. They was all like very close to each other. So he was like, "Yep, he's fine. Let's get him to do it." And then I got to it. I threw the first egg, and I missed. And I was like, "Oh no!" I did the second egg, and I missed that one as well. And Morgan, the director, was just like, "Oh, maybe we should get someone else to throw it." And I was like, "No, one more chance." So he was like, "Fine." And then I threw it, and that's the shot. That's
amazing, and it made the actual movie. And just tell us a little bit about the cast. Were you starstruck? I mean, you have some big names to work with.
Yeah, Jenny Agutter, she's a legend. And
she's your grandma in this.
Yeah. And
Sheridan Smith.
Yeah, she plays my mum in it, and they're all just legends. I learned so much from them. And Jenny was on in the last week of filming, and when she stepped on set, she just lit the set up. She was brilliant. She was telling me all her memories from the first film, and yeah, it was just incredible.
It must all be a little bit surreal. What do your friends think of it? Have you got your showbiz friends and your school friends, no doubt?
Yeah, I've got my friends that are in my acting class, and then I've got my school friends, but they're all supportive, and they all look like, yeah, support me through it.
And of course, you're no stranger to the big screen, are you? You've done quite a few things already, the A Word, Gentleman Jack, so this is just another step up for you, isn't it?
Well, I mean, hopefully, I started acting when I was 7, and then, yeah, my first role was the A Word. And then, yeah, Gentleman Jack and All Creatures Great and Small, which is coming out soon. I've got a pretty cool role in that. So, yeah.
Great. Can you tell us about that?
I play Andrew, who is he comes in for a work experience, and he works alongside Siegfried.
Oh, wonderful. Another Yorkshire production as well. Absolutely fantastic. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you. I know we're going to be dragging out this clip when you're a big Hollywood star in 20 years' time, but it all started here. Thank you so much for coming in, and I can't wait to see the film. Thank you very much, Austin. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the weather, and I think to my left I am seeing our lovely weather person arrive here. Hello, Abby. Now, don't get too starstruck. We've got Austin. We've got a big Hollywood star here in our midst.
Just about to say, this is so exciting. I'm going to get a selfie, and then that's going to be worth probably more than my house in about 5 years' time, isn't it? How exciting!
So the weather, Abby, how's it looking? It's been a bit of a mixed bag today.
Very changeable. Yes, it's been very changeable today. Let's have a look actually at some of the weather photos that we've had in from the last 24 hours, because I had to throw one in from last night because it was the most spectacular end to the day, wasn't it? We had some really heavy showers, but the sunshine came out just in time to provide some of the most incredible weather photos that I think I've ever seen. So thank you to all of our weather watchers, as always, for sending those photos in. And then some more ominous looking skies out there today. We've had some very heavy showers. They produced a bit of hail, a bit of thunder, a bit of lightning. The heaviest of those showers were across parts of North Yorkshire, and this photo was sent in from the North Yorkshire coastline. If you do take a photo over the weekend and would like to send it in to us here at Look North, all the details are on your screens right now. So then, the weekend forecast, it's a very changeable one, not ideal for the first weekend in July by any means. We're going to see some showery rain overnight tonight. That will take a while to clear, I think, first thing tomorrow morning. So showery rain, it will clear away through the morning, leaving an afternoon of sunshine and showers, but much like today, some of those showers are going to be very heavy. So looking at the pressure chart then, low pressure in charge, that's been with us today, it'll be with us tomorrow, but it will start to pull away through Sunday and into the start of next week, where we will see a big area of high pressure building, and that should settle our weather down. So a quieter week of weather for next week, but that doesn't necessarily mean completely dry and completely sunny. There'll be quite a lot of cloud around, I think, through next week. But if we look at the radar from earlier today, we saw some very heavy showers. I mentioned them earlier. They produced some lightning, some thunder, particularly across parts of North Yorkshire, but these are easing, so dry for a time this evening, but not for long. We're going to see things turning cloudy with showery rain pushing in from the west. Some of that rain will be heavy overnight tonight, with temperatures dropping to 10 or 11 degrees. High waters then for tomorrow, we're looking at 7:08 in Bridlington, and then again at 7:40 in the evening. So as we start the day tomorrow then, a lot of cloud around, the remnants, the legacy of that overnight rain, taking a while to eventually clear out into the North Sea through the morning, leaving an afternoon of sunshine and showers. It'll be another breezy day though, so the showers will be rattling through and they will ease, I think much like today, leaving things drier and a little bit brighter tomorrow evening. These will be our temperatures, very similar to today, 18 or 19 degrees. But if you do manage to catch a bit of afternoon sunshine, I think that should feel quite pleasant. Through Sunday, we are going to continue to see some of these showers, but probably fewer and further between than what we're going to see tomorrow. So a bit more in the way of drier and brighter weather into the start of next week. That area of high pressure builds, so still a couple of showers, and as you can see on the outlook, quite a lot of cloud. But it does look as though the temperatures will recover, so potentially back up into the low 20s by around Wednesday or Thursday, Amanda.
Abby, thank you very much. Now, it's been a difficult week for the team here at Look North with the loss of our lovely friend and former colleague, Harry Gration. We've been overwhelmed by your kind words as thousands of you got in touch to share your memories of Harry. And you, our audience, were at the heart of everything Harry did, and he would be so very touched by the tributes you sent in. Here are just a few. Good night.
We lived in the same street as young lads. We became really good friends. We'd go to Harry's house and watch wrestling and listen to Cliff and the Shadows. This is a photo of our short-lived band, The Gonks. I'm the one directly in front of Harry. I always remember those days with affection.
So very sorry to hear of the death of Harry. This photo of him with my son, who's now 38, was taken at the Shea in Halifax. It must have been some charity match. He was a lovely man.
I met Harry when I lived in East Keswick. I was an electrician called to repair his burglar alarm. I called him Mr. Gration, and the first word he said to me was, "The name's Harry. Very happy to have met him. Rest in peace, Harry."
Here's remembering a great man. I had the pleasure of meeting Harry at a testimonial cricket match. Harry played and during the break came over and shared a drink with us. His family, friends and colleagues are in our prayers.
I was at an evening dinner event at the Spa in Scarborough. I won an award for my duty as a carer. Harry visited all the tables and he was happy to have a selfie. He was a marvellous man, a treasure, and we'll all miss him very much.
I'd taken the day off work for my 60th birthday, aware that Harry and team were fundraising at Sheffield City Hall for children in need. Harry asked my name, and I replied with my nickname, "I am the Walrus." Harry came straight back with "Goo Goo Goo Tube." A lovely, warm, genuine man, and I treasure that picture.